Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, third graders. Whenever you're watching it, good something to you. Today, we're going to start a new series of things that we're going to be learning about during our reading and language arts time. And it's going to connect to something that we've all worked incredibly hard at this year so far, which is to become better readers. We've done so many things. We've done AR tests, we've done reading logs, we've finished books, we've talked about books, we've tested in our MyView books. And because of that, all of us are amazing readers right now. But we know that no matter how good we are at reading, there's always more that we can do to get better. And some of the things we're going to focus on are things that while you practice your reading at home through books that you might have at home, Epic Books if you're getting logged onto there, Raz Kids, and even websites like Dreamscape that help you with other reading, parts of reading. This is all going to help you with that. And so what we're going to call this series is our keys to being a good reader. And this is going to take us a few, maybe even more than a few weeks to work on. Now, we have different strategies that help us become better readers. And some of them you use already, you just don't know that you are. And after this, you'll be like, oh yeah, I do that sometimes. And that's what we're looking for. But the more you're aware of it, the easier it is to use and the better reader you'll become. So our first key to being a good reader is something called close reading. Close reading. Now, that's not a term that we've used a ton or maybe even ever in our classroom this year. But it's very important and kids do it all the time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an example before we talk about it. Now, what I challenge you to do, as long as it's okay with somebody at home who's responsible for you, is to get two quick, little, tiny, easy things that you can eat, because we love food. Now, this can be anything. It can be 2 crackers, 2 cookies, 2 pieces of broccoli, whatever it is, but it has to go quick. So if you can do that, if you're allowed to do that, pause the video, go grab those 2 things, 2 pieces, so again, 2 crackers, 2 cookies, 2 something, and come on back. I'll give everybody a second. And if you can't grab it, if you're not somewhere, if you don't have something right now, just watch and kind of pretend that you've got it, because it'll still work even if you don't have food in front of you. For me, here's what I have, and I'm going to come close to the camera. Now, with the first one, really, really simple. Take it, eat it. Go up. Swallow. Once you get there, please don't choke. I shouldn't be talking while I'm eating, but here I am. All right. Swallowed, and I'm good. That wasn't pretty. And we're going to talk about that. Now, the second piece I have for me, I'm not going to eat right now. I'm going to just leave it to the side. But whether you have something at home or whether you're just watching me, and if you have something, think about mine and yours. How would you describe what you just ate? Or how would you describe what I just ate? I'll give you a second to think about that. Okay. Now, if I think about what I just ate, that I just shoved into my mouth really, really quickly, chomped on, tried to talk through and swallowed, I think a couple things. I think cookie. I think peanut butter. And I think Nutter Butter, because that's the pack of what I have. Nutter Butter. Those are 3 things. So maybe if you were thinking, I would bet that maybe you thought that that's what I was eating too, or something like that. A cracker, a cookie, depending on how well you can see it in the video. That's all we know about it. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take that second thing, or watch me take my second cookie, Nutter Butter here. And this time I'm not going to eat it quite as fast as I did the first one. I'm going to look at it, and you can do this with yours if you've got something at home. I'm going to smell it a little bit. I'm going to feel it, I'm going to touch it. And then kind of a little bit more politely, I'm going to take a bite. I'm going to chew it slowly. I'm going to taste it. And I'm going to swallow. Now, I will finish this later, but for the purpose of me being clear when I talk, I'm going to stop now. Now, if you did the same thing with yours, or if you're just watching me eat, what I want you to think about was the differences between the first cookie that I ate, or the first snack that you ate, and the second. Now, the second time, when I ate my cookie, when I smelled it, I could smell that peanut butter. The first one I shoved into my mouth so fast I didn't get any sort of a smell. I just got taste right away. But I could smell this was going to be peanut butter tasting before that. Not only with the inside, but the cookie on the outside. I can feel the texture outside. It kind of feels a little bit like a waffle texture where it comes up and it has grooves. I can tell once I taste it that the peanut butter is a creamy, soft peanut butter, that the cookie is crunchy, that it tastes really good. This is one of my favorite snacks. Those are more details, which is something we talk about a lot than I could tell from the first one. Again, my first one I just thought, cookie, Nutter Butter, good. Now here I'm thinking, okay, it smells like peanut butter. The cookie tastes like peanut butter as well as the cream inside. The cream is soft, the cookie is crunchy. It's got a pattern in it, a texture. It's fresh. All of those things. Now, at this point you're probably wondering, Mr. Blumhagen, what in the world does this have to do with us and reading? Because it's the same as when you read a book. Because we have such good readers in our class, and all of you have worked so hard, a lot of you have the ability to read really, 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 really quick. And that's okay. Just like when I ate my cookie really quick, it still tasted good. I could still decide that it was peanut butter, and I even knew what brand it was. But the second time, in my opinion, and hopefully if you tried this at home, it was a little better for you too. I had a more manageable bite. I didn't have to shove the whole thing and try and get my tongue to handle all that peanut butter at once. I could kind of dissect it. I could taste the cracker and how the cracker or peanut butter was different from the peanut butter on the inside. And that they were both peanut butter, but they were different types of peanut butter. The fact that the peanut butter inside was soft and smooth, and the cracker on the outside was crunchy and had a rough texture. I got more from the peanut butter the second time. Just like if we read a book a second time, or if we read a book more slowly, we get more out of it. We learn more about it. We absorb more of it. And then if we have to go and do something like answer some questions, take a quiz, or just talk about a book, we know more about it. So that is what it means to be a close reader. That you're not just reading to read the words and get through it as fast as you can because I'm an awesome reader and then I'm done. I'm reading it because this book is about something. And the author's telling me a story for a reason. And what are the characters' names? And what are they doing? And how do they make me feel? And how do they feel? And what does it all mean? We get more of that when we read a book slowly and when we take a smaller bite as opposed to the whole thing right at once. So as you read this week, that is my challenge to you, second and third graders. Grab a book, whether it's a paper one you have at home or one that you're reading online when you're assigned EPIC or RazKids, and use those close reading strategies. Take a small bite. Go slow. Read about the book. Think about all the things that go on. And I promise when you're done, you're going to feel really, really confident that you could tell me, mom and dad, brother and sister, a classmate, things about the book in a much more detailed way that's going to help you become an even better reader. Awesome job, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk more later. Have a good